this beautiful green silk viscose blend of velvet, which I purchased from the fabric store in their sale at the start of the year, and I absolutely love it. I actually bought this to make a dress to go to a cocktail party. Well, not really a dress, it was going to be like a two-piece, and I had the top and the skirt. Unfortunately, the top didn't really work out as I planned. It kind of just hit a point, and then of course with everything that happened in the world and no social events, the event got cancelled, which was really devastating, but I didn't end up finishing the top. And then winter came along and I was like, oh, I really want this skirt to wear winter, because I really need to start making winter clothes. It's not really my strong point in my sewing. I don't really have much of a me-made winter wardrobe. So I finally finished off this velvet skirt. So to make this velvet skirt, I followed the tutorial from the Essentials Club on how to sew a slip skirt. So it's just got one seam with a really gorgeous split here, and I did my split just above the knee. Now I wear mine with my seam straight down my leg, like to the side of my leg, something like that, with the split down there. And then I've also got my hem on a little bit of an angle. Sorry, it is very difficult to see. I'm trying to stand back. Can you see it over here? Let me see if I just move my camera. Maybe you'll see it a little bit better there. Try and do a march. So it's just on an elastic band here. I didn't fold my band under because I felt like it just made the skirts a little bit funny, but I can fold it under if I want. I just didn't sew it in place to fold it under. I can also, so then I can just have it flat when I'm wearing something like a sweater that I can just put over the top of it. It is bias cut, so it is a little bit clingy. I don't have a problem with that. My mother has a huge problem with that though, so it's not quite her favourite thing that I've ever made, but it's trying to say, like, I need to branch out and see how fabrics work in different cuts and not just gathers, because I do a lot of gathers. So I really love this skirt. It did take like 3 goes until I was happy with the seam, because it just kept bubbling and bubbling, and it's bias, so that's already hard enough. You have to stop it from stretching, and two, it's velvet, so it's so incredibly slippery and just really difficult to work with and to keep it in place. So this seam, I could not get it straight. It was really bugging me, so I gave it about 3 goes, and I'm pretty happy with it now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy with it now. I think if I made one in the future, I would do a seam down the other side. I just prefer how it sits with the seam down the leg, rather than how it I feel like this just sort of wraps and sort of twists then on the body. It feels a bit funny. So I would probably do that trick where if you cut the front and the back both on the bias but going like the opposite ways to each other sort of thing, different diagonals, then it shouldn't twist so much around the body. So I think I would do that in future if I made another one. Another little tip, if you have an overlocker, I would definitely recommend overlocking the edges and then folding under. It just makes it a lot easier than doing a roll and roll. It just makes it a lot, what would I say, like finer, I guess. It's not as thick in that hem there, because it's just overlocked and then stitched. And I think it worked out really well. I was quite worried about hemming velvet. I wasn't sure. I was like, should I keep a raw edge or what should I do? But I'm really happy with how that works. And yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. I've just got tights on because it's so cold. I'm sorry, I'm going to be wearing tights with everything because I'm just too cold to film. And I also got just a really nice black cozy sweater which I bought from J. Crew last year. And I really like it. Otherwise, I've got a really cute little like green, bit deeper green than the skirt, which is sort of like it's like a polyester satiny sort of fabric, not shiny though, and it's really cute. It's got like a little lace detail and some front pleats, which I think also looks really nice with the skirt if you wanted to dress it up a little bit more. But yeah, that's my velvet skirt, and it feels beautiful on just velvet. You know, it might be totally horrendous to work with, but it's totally worth it as well. You know, it's always like that, the payoff, the sacrifice, the pros, the cons, find that balance. Is it worth it? In this case, I'm gonna say big yes. So this dress was kind of in the pipeline of something I really wanted to make for a while. I saw a picture of a Valentino dress from the Spring/Summer 2020 collection from Valentino, and I absolutely loved it, and I thought, oh my god, I have to make that dress. So I'd seen it on Net-a-Porter, and then as soon as the fabric store reopened, I got in contact, sorry, there was a big truck going down the road. So as soon as the fabric store reopened, I got in contact with the lovely, lovely ladies down in the Brisbane store and sent photos of what I was looking to make, and they found me this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cotton twill fabric. So I really wanted it to be 100% cotton. So this is the outer fabric, and then for the lining, I only lined the bodice of this dress. I used a cotton voile. So yeah, and it was such a beautiful fabric. It does crease very easily, so when you iron one part, the other part sort of creases as well. But I was super happy, super happy with the colour and just the effect it gives to the style of the dress. So, this dress was really fun to make. It was really fun to make. It was kind of one of those things where it was like, meltdown, 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 but also come and watch me, I'm being really clever in here. So this dress, I did all my own pattern drafting for it, which is very exciting. So I'd never actually made my own bodice block from scratch before. So taking all of my own measurements, so shoulders, bust, waist, you know, bust point, all of those things, I drafted my very first pattern block for a bodice, and I'm so happy with it. It's just so cool because it just fits beautifully, and I think really going from measurements to drafting your own pattern, yeah, you do get such a good fit, and without having to do all of that trial and error, I feel. Of course, I made a toile before I made this dress. I thought, of course, if I was making my own pattern block for the first time, I definitely needed to test that out. I really focused on the neckline. I'm probably not 100% happy with the neckline. I probably, looking at the reference photo, it was probably a little bit more scooped down here. Mine sort of feels like it drags out a little bit more, maybe a bit more like a boat neck shape. It's okay though, I do like it. It is quite high. Don't normally ever wear anything quite this high. And something I don't ever really wear is sleeves, but I've been trying to work on sleeves and develop my skills because I've never really done sleeves before. And so these sleeves are really special because they're like a bishop sleeve, which I just, to get all of this width, all I did was multiply my wrist measurement. Originally I think I multiplied it by 3, but it wasn't enough gather, so I actually multiplied it by 4. And then it's just got a little elastic casing here at the wrist. So yeah, it's got all of that beautiful volume, but the really special part is here at the shoulder. It's actually a beautiful inverted pleat detail rather than just a gather. And so I did 5 little inverted pleats, and when you push the elastic up here, push your sleeve up, yeah, it really makes your shoulder sort of stick out, and I love it. It's so cool. Such a funky shape. And then the other thing is, of course, the skirt was really easy. It's just 2 rectangles with gathers. Kind of wish I got a little bit lazy, but I wish I probably did a bit longer for that last tier so that there were more gathers. There's not quite as many gathers in there. But it does feel really fun, and another part of the dress was that it was really short on the model, so I wanted the dress to be really short as well. It's probably not really short, but it is quite short, and I think for winter and summer it's going to work both ways. For summer, because it is 100% cotton, so I think if you had a really cool event to go to, you could get away with it. But winter, pairing it with black tights and little black boots, also think it looks fantastic. So yeah, super happy with this little dress, and it's just so fun. And I'm also contemplating, should I make this in black linen? Let me know what you think. I think the sleeves might be a little bit different if I make it in black linen. It probably won't be as structured, you know, but tell me what you think about that idea, because I think it might look pretty cool too. Anyway, yeah, so I super love this dress. You just feel fantastic in it, you know. It's like bright pink. You want to stand up straight, you want to present yourself, have power, and you know, there's absolutely no way that you're going to be able to blend into the shadows in this dress because of the colour and the volume, and I just think it's so lovely. But I also think it's quite balanced. It's not too overpowering, you know, because it has that beautiful fitted bodice without too much going on as well. Like, it's only just got small little bust darts here, so yeah, it doesn't feel too... Well, it's a lot. It is a lot. Can't say it's not a lot, but doesn't feel too overdone, I guess, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me know what you think of this dress as well down in the comments below. Ooh, I'll just be twirling. And I'm just going to keep on twirling and twirling because it's way too much fun not to twirl. And then the last dress which I've made this year, which I wanted to share with you, is a dress which I started and finished I think back in April. And I am absolutely in love with this dress, and it's just every time I put it on I remember, oh my god, this is what every dress should feel like in your wardrobe. It is just beautiful. So I'm going to start first by letting you know about the fabric, because it's really special. So this fabric was given to Mum and I in about 2013 by one of Mum's really good friends, and it is actually a leftover lounge chair fabric, so the sort of fabric you would use to cover a lounge chair. So I'll just zoom in here. It's so gorgeous. It must be like a linen blend, and it's actually a very heavy fabric, but it's got these really cute little palm trees embroidered all over it, which I just love. So as I mentioned, because it is such a heavy fabric, I knew it was going to be really important that the dress fitted really well. So it needed to be just perfectly there on the waist, so that the dress carries itself and I wouldn't feel as though I'm wearing something really heavy. And I found even with the sleeves, when I gathered the sleeves in, they were slightly too big. I had to take them in as well, because I just really like that little bit of grip when I wear a dress, just to hold you in and hold you up. So this dress was made from a pattern which my boss had drafted for one of our customers at work, and then I took like the 12 that he had made for the customer and then readjusted it for my size. So I'm not quite as broad and not quite as busty, so I just had to reshape in through here, and I think it turned out quite well. One thing that went wrong with it, unfortunately, is I think it's on, is it this side or this side? One of the sides, the panels are a little bit, is not quite lined up as well as it should be, unfortunately, which is a little bit sad. And it's one of those things where you like try so hard to be fitting this dress constantly while I'm making it and making it really perfect, but then when you get the photos after you finish the dress, you realize it and you're like, oh, that's not quite right. But it's okay, I think it's alright. Anyway, so this dress features a beautiful princess line through here, princess seams through the front, and also through the back. Sorry, you can probably see my black bra straps there. I need to do bra keepers to hold them in place at the back there. I really didn't want to have to wear a strapless bra with this dress though, so also, as I mentioned with the pink dress, I've been learning how to do sleeves this year, so this was actually my first attempt at drafting my own sleeve pattern, and I was so happy with how they came out. So it's got a little bit of gather here just at the top of the sleeve head, and then gathered around the bicep. Oh, bicep, sorry. So just gathered a little bit around the bicep. It just a small little, just wanted to do like a very small little sort of casing out of the same fabric. Didn't want that to be elastic, I wanted it to be really all done properly. And then I've just done an invisible zipper at the back. I love the back. I am quite narrow shouldered, so I actually really like dresses that make me feel a bit broader, and really sort of broaden out my shoulders. So I love that. And then for the skirt, just a really soft slight gather, which I love. You know I love gathers. And this dress is all fully lined, so I just used a really nice cream cotton voile to line the skirt, and the same to line the bodice. And then, very special little detail of course, is adding pockets. So I added this little contrast of a blue and white stripe to the pockets, and I only made very like shallow pockets. I didn't want them to be too deep. You know, like you're not meant to hold your phone or your packet of Skittles in your pockets. You're meant to just like have a nice little place so that you can, you know, cut a nice little silhouette with your hands in your pockets. And also so that I'm not fidgeting with my hands all over the place as well. And then the other thing that I love about this dress is the length. So I'll just try and stand on my tippy toes here. It just hits right there, like just on the knee, a little bit slightly below the knee. Oh, let me stand back a bit more. And I just think it's just perfect. Like it's just so beautifully balanced. And I love it. Like a little bit of gather through the skirt with the gather on the sleeves. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. And then another little fine detail, another thing that I really wanted to focus on this year in my personal sewing was beautiful details to the finish of my garments, and really focusing on getting a better professional finish. And something I used to see in the clothes at work that were really beautifully made was bias binding. So I did my own bias binding here. Well, not my own bias binding, sorry. So I used a bias binding which my sister had bought me, which is also contrasting in blue So I just sewed that onto the raw edge of my dress, and then I hand stitched to sew the hem nice and blind at the bottom. Well, blind, invisible, nice and visible hem at the bottom. And I also used that bias binding in the armhole to finish off the armhole. I did overlock all the other regular seams in the dress, so that was kind of easy, but for those little details I thought it was nice to just make it a little bit special. So yes, please let me know what you also think of this dress. It's got a very nice it's got a very nice sharp neckline as well, which I really love. The square neckline is quite in at the moment, so I think it looks kind of flattering, I guess. But then at the back it doesn't, it's a bit more curved too at the back. But yeah, anyway, please let me know what you think of the dress down in the comments below, and if you wanted to see more of the things that I make, please head over to my Instagram, which is at Rubyvale Road. I try to share a bit more of the things that I have made, or otherwise I have videos. I've got all the things I've made part 1 and all the things I've made part 2 if you want to see broader collection of the things that I've sewn. But yeah, these are the 3 main makes I've made for 2020, just personally, selfishly, where I'm trying to just develop my own skills with pattern drafting, with sewing sleeves, with doing better finishes on the inside, and I just wanted to share them with you because sometimes, you know, a photo might speak 1,000 words, but a video speaks a hell of a lot of words out of my mouth and a much better picture of what the dress looks like on. I hope you really enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Rubyvale Road YouTube channel, and please let me know if you like these sort of videos where I share the things that I've been sewing just for myself, and if you would like to see more in the future, of course I'll be happy to keep you updated on what's going on in the sewing breakdown. Sometimes there's breakdowns, and then when it's all finished you think, why was I so worried? Turns out somehow or another. Anyway, that's the good thing about sewing. Ready for another wise tip? But that's the good thing about sewing. It might seem like a complete disaster, but generally there's always a way to fix it, and just remember to buy a little bit of extra fabric, because if, like me, you cut your bodice wrong because you forgot that you needed to resize it, you can cut another bodice and it's fine. It's all fine. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you again very soon in my next video. Bye bye!